Hello Year 7, it's Mrs. Bignall here, and I'm going to be taking your lesson today. I'm really looking forward to teaching you about an important aspect of medieval history. Today we're going to be looking at what was the Black Death. First, I'd like you to get ready for the lesson. You're going to need your history workbook, a black pen, a different coloured pen, and you might also want some scrap paper. I'd like you to put away or turn off any distractions like your phone or TV. Pause now to get yourself ready to begin today's lesson and press play when you are ready. Last half term, you looked at how clean people were and how they tried to help the sick in the Middle Ages. This is what your Do Now task is about. Under Activity 1.1 in your workbook, you have 5 questions to answer. I'd like you to try and do them from memory to see how much you can remember. Pause the video now to answer the questions and press play once you are done. Well done on your Do Now. These are the correct answers. If you got one wrong, don't worry. You can pause now to write down the correct answer using a different coloured pen. Remember to write your score out of 5 as well. The title of today's lesson is What was the Black Death? Our lesson objectives are to know how the Black Death spread, to be able to describe the symptoms of the bubonic and pneumonic plague, and finally, to be able to explain why the Black Death was so frightening for medieval people. To begin, we need to update our knowledge organiser for this unit of work. Find your copy of the knowledge organiser in your workbook now. In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at under Events, 1348, the Black Death reached England. Under Themes, Symptoms and how it spread. Under Vocabulary, buboes, painful swellings. The bubonic plague, a disease caused by a germ that infects black rats. Fever, a high temperature. Groin, the area at the top of the thigh. Pneumonic plague, disease caused by the same germ as bubonic plague, but it attacked the lungs. And finally, symptoms, evidence that someone was suffering from a disease. Pause now to highlight your copy and press play when you're ready to move on. Now it's time for your starter. Using image 1, describe the symptoms of the Black Death that you can see. If you would like to give this a try without the hints, then press pause now. Here are a few hints to get you thinking. What are they doing in each picture? How do you think they would be feeling? A symptom is evidence that someone was suffering from a disease. What symptoms can you see in this image? Pause to write your ideas in your workbook under Activity 1.2. Let's have a look at what you can see. The top picture shows someone with chest pains and breathing troubles. The picture on the right shows someone with a symptom of a fever, a high temperature, which has made them shiver. The bottom picture shows someone sneezing and coughing up blood. The picture on the left shows someone with symptoms of boils and black buboes, which are painful swellings appearing in the groin, the area at the top of the thigh, and the armpit. Press pause and write one you may have missed. Now it is time to introduce new knowledge. The Black Death reached Britain in 1348. It didn't matter if you were rich, poor, lived in a town or in the countryside, all medieval people were affected. This was incredibly scary for medieval people, as death was almost certain if left untreated. A third of the population of England died. Most historians believe the Black Death was a disease called the bubonic plague. The bubonic plague was a disease caused by a germ that infects black rats. Those who caught it usually died within 5 to 10 days, with a survival rate of 33%. The disease spread to humans by fleas from the infected rats. Symptoms included buboes in the groin and armpits, a fever and severe headaches. The buboes could grow to the size of an egg or a small apple. Other historians have suggested that the Black Death might have been the pneumonic plague. The pneumonic plague was a disease caused by the same germ as the bubonic plague, but it attacked the lungs. It was spread by coughs and sneezes. Symptoms included breathing difficulties, fevers, headaches, and coughing up blood. Those who caught it usually died within 2 to 4 days, with a survival rate of 0%. If a person caught a pneumonic plague, they did not survive. This made the Black Death very frightening for medieval people. You're ready now to complete activity 1.3 in your workbook. Before you attempt to do this, it's really important that you read both pages of the resources first. For task A, you need to define the 5 key terms in your own words. Next, I want you to fill in the table describing the differences between the bubonic plague and the pneumonic plague. Lastly, I want you to use all the resources and your ideas to write a paragraph to explain why the Black Death was so frightening for medieval people. Think about the differences between the medieval period and medicine today. Also, look at sources A and B to help you. Press pause to complete the main activity questions now. I'm sure you've all produced excellent paragraphs on why you think the Black Death was so frightening for medieval people. Well done! If you'd like to know more about why medieval towns were so dirty and how this helped the Black Death spread, then you can complete activity 1.4. You could start by looking at this website. Don't forget, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next lesson, Mrs. Gill will be teaching you about what people blamed the Black Death on. Well done today, Year 7. Really good work.